Welcome to Near Falls with D. Hall. He's talking on bars and how they win it all. Yeah, it's just Near Falls with D. Hall. The final takedown, the glory or the fall. So loosen up, step on in, wrestle with the need to win. We're talking Near Falls with D. Hall. Ready or not, he's here to brawl.
What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome into another edition of Near Falls with D Hall, a wrestling podcast. Today, so excited. This is the best time of year. My favorite project of the year, the 24-25 WPIAL Coaches Preview. So excited to bring this to you guys. I have a bunch of different coaches coming on from across the WPIAL. They're going to come on, talk about their schedule, expectations, up-and-comers, their leaders, their seniors, all that type of stuff. You guys know the drill. This is year 3 or 4 of me doing it. So pumped up to bring it to you guys. I really hope you enjoy it, and just hope you enjoy listening to these guys talk like I did. It was always a blast for me, and this year was no different. So without further ado, welcome in to the WPIAL Coaches Preview.
Welcome to the Near Falls WPIAL Show, where D.R. and Kaz are gonna tell you all the things you wanna know. Whether it's Trinity or Spencer Lee or Mr. Kurt Angle, just ask Vinity, WPIAL at Canon Mac for sure. They got the interviews to soothe your soul, because it's Near Falls in the WPIAL.
Okay, joining me now on the call, we have, what's your official title, my friend?
Officially, I'm the wrestling coordinator at Canon Mac.
The wrestling coordinator at Canon Mac, Mr. Jordan Mayer. How are you, sir?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Doing really good indeed. It's always interesting to see the page be turned over there at Canon Mac, and of course, Slack was there for many years. But now you're at the helm. So I guess first things first, talk about, being under Slack and, taking over for him, getting that call, what that means to you, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not something we like to see. I think I'm the 5th head coach since Chris Mary left.
Yep.
And, when you think of programs that have a lot of success, it's kind of guys that have been there for 15, 20 years or kind of long runs. Now we have a lot of great coaches since Chris left, but, Jason was 4 years, Jeff was 4 years, Slack was 3. So I'm kind of stepping in now and, hopefully have a little tenure here, but, we'll see how it goes. But, Slack, yeah, he was my junior high coach. And that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
He actually coached 2 of my older brothers. He was an assistant on varsity kind of for them before he came down to junior high. So good dude. Everyone knew him forever. I mean, a tough loss for the program.
Yep.
But, when he took over, he gave me a call, and I worked at the district and brought me on. And, we had a nice little tenure, a nice little run under his tenure here. So kind of like a natural progression. It was kind of comfortable stepping in and, being a Canon Mac guy and something I want to see is, most of my staff are Canon Mac guys. So hopefully build on that tradition and use our guys to do it.
So just go right into that. What's your staff looking like? And, that's always interesting when a new coach takes over, who they build it out with and what that looks like. Yeah.
I mean, we didn't change much. Slack and I worked together really well, really close. So when we got kind of our staff put together the past 2 years, pretty much everything stayed the same, minor changes. So in the boys' room, we have Albert Miles and Mark Powell, who I've been together with probably a decade now through Trinity over to Canon Mac. Mark Angle came into the room. He's with us on staff this year, which is a monster pickup. I mean,
not a bad guy to have in the room.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Cody Klempe, who's
man. I had battles with him in high school. Well, not battles, he used to beat me up, but he's a stud.
Yeah, one of the scariest individuals I know.
Yes.
And we have a unique, I'll call it a problem, I guess, but I have more guys from 175 up than most programs have in like 3 to 4 year cycles. So
that is a good problem because most programs are starving for those type of guys.
Yeah, and I love it, but they get the Klempe treatment. They get put in the back corner, and they just got to survive back there. And then Tanner Rosenko is actually helping us out.
Nice.
Graduated last year, didn't have much of a senior year due to some injuries. But like right back in the room, helping us out. He could still scrap. He's still going with those lighter guys. So it's awesome to have him. Then over in our girls' room, Ron Totterdell, Canon Mac guy, Sheila Mitchell. She was actually our boys and girls volleyball coach. And then when we got the girls program kicking off, we were like, hey, we need somebody that can coach, somebody that knows what it's like to be around athletics. She's been a great fit for us, learning the sport as the girls come along, but invaluable having that female in the room. And then one of the guys we stole from Connellsville, Kevin Sanaga, transplanted into Canon Mac, lives in the district. Very good freestyle pedigree, so he's helping out over there as well in the girls' room. So
that's a big snipe. You don't see many Connellsville to Canon Mac.
Yeah, no, we'll take it for sure.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the girls' run last year. I mean, you guys had an incredible season. Obviously you have, like Val's over at Iowa now, just doing big things. She kind of led the charge and stuff. But just talk about that run, and obviously what a way for and what other school but Canon Mac to dominate early on the girls' scene.
Yeah, we started the girls 3 years ago when Slack came in, and we didn't have a second staff at that point. So it was just the boys' staff taking on the girls' tournaments. We didn't have a second room, so they were just practicing with the boys, and we didn't have time to slow down and bring them along, like kind of like a nice, easy, hey, it's girls wrestling, just come on over. We threw them into the deep end, and they swam.
Nice.
They finished every workout. They were tough. They wanted to learn. And then year 2, we got some support. We're able to bring in Ron Totterdell and Sheila, and they start putting a lot of time with the girls. And then last year was obviously the first year that it was sanctioned. And I mean, we have 30 girls in the room, plenty of depth, and they're all athletes. They're all cheerleading and dance or other sports, and they come in and they pick it up really well. No bad habits. So
that's true.
We're not undoing a lot of things. We're teaching it one time, and they're picking it up, and it's the right thing right away. And they just, they put it together. Obviously, Val, the first ever female state champ. PIAA history, and then the first ever team state champs is awesome at Canon Mac. But like you have Natalie Rush, like run to the finals, Audrey Calgaro third, Dynasty Williams placed. Capri Chambers is up there. Malia Ramos is up there. Eva Gray's up there. Uni Aiello was a first-year wrestler placed. So they just embraced it. We embraced it as a district, and it showed.
No doubt. Okay, back over to the boys' side. Talk to me about who are some of the leaders that you're going to be, kind of leaning on as the season gets rolling here.
Yeah, so the class of 2024 was a tough one to lose for us.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Andrew Binney, Tanner Rosenko, both WPIAL champs, Ryder Joseph and Gino Calgaro, both state qualifiers. I think Joey Gardner would have been a state qualifier, broke his wrist first match of sections, kind of ended his career a little bit early. Well, his season a little bit early. He actually just committed over to W&J, so he'll be getting back on the mat here.
Nice.
So we were senior heavy, and we kind of had the luxury having those guys and the experience in the room. This year, I don't have many seniors on my roster. I don't have many juniors on my roster. But Collier Hartman kind of really stepped up. He had a really good year last year. Third at WPIALs, kind of fell short a little there in the blood round of states. But he's been the guy all off season in the room, helping run workouts. Mikkel Krenslak has been taking a big step. He's a senior for us. Slack's son. great kid, just someone you want other kids to aspire to be. And he's stepped up and taken that leadership role. And we have a ton of young kids. So, that leadership and that mentorship will go a long way for us.
Talk about those young kids. Who are some of those guys, or maybe one or two of those guys we look up in your gym Saturday night and say, holy shit, he's wrestling for a place to go to states?
Yeah, man. I'm probably going to be pushing 6 freshmen into the roster this year.
Let's go.
But I mean, they're all tough. They're all ready to scrap. Joey Gardner's little brother. I'm expecting some big things out of him. Mason Calgaro, another familiar name. He's going to be out there scrapping right away. Bryce
Little brothers are always tough, man.
Yeah. So they got to survive in that house.
Yes.
Bryce Collins, another freshman, had a really good year last year. Super high potential, super athletic. Aiden Finnegan ended up having a pretty bad injury at States last year, ended his season early. But I mean, these guys are all freshmen that we're going to get out there, and I think we're going to surprise some people. Maybe a little bit growing pains and kind of get into it, but I think we're ready, and they're going to advance pretty fast.
Talk to me about your schedule, man. Did you get it? Were you able to make any changes, or did you want to make any changes? What's it look like?
A lot of it's the same. So we're not going to Ironman. I don't think Ironman's a good fit at the beginning of the year.
It's probably pretty tough.
with a pretty young roster.
Right.
So we're starting out. We're actually going to Norwin first match. Love what Norwin's doing. It's a great program. They're going to be tough. They are tough.
I mean, nails this year, no doubt.
But I mean, that's someone that, that's a program doing all the right things right now. See where we stack up now. We're going to go visit them this year, bring them back next year, and hopefully the next 3-4 years we're, we can turn that into a little rivalry here and get some good scraps in. Hampton Duels, we picked up the 6th match. There's an odd amount of teams, and they asked if anyone wants 6. I need mat time. So we're taking the 6th match up there, 6 dual meets one day.
That's awesome. So you guys are going to Hampton Dog Duels too?
Yeah, we'll be there.
Heck yeah, man. That tournament's, I talk about that all the time. That's sneaky good at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and I'm looking for, I love dual meets. Dual meets kind of like went to the wayside with the point system coming out and everyone's getting tournaments in. But I mean, you can't build a team any better than getting into a dual meet and feeling that passion and the fans and your teammates and cheering each other on. So I love the duels. Want to get out there early in the season, build them up. After that, we had the King of the Mountain. Love that one as well, especially this year. So, Central Mountain, State College, we could catch those guys early. They're going to be coming to the regional. So we like getting out there, catching a little bit of that action. Obviously, Powerade, we host. We'll never leave it. Tri-Cata, also staying there. Virginia Duels, and that's like the fun one for us. We work hard all year, and December is a pretty good grind. And then it's a nice little change of pace, get down there.
You guys have been going to that for years, right?
Well, we just got back in 2 years ago. But, I mean, we wrestled it when I was in high school, so it's a pretty good tradition for us. And it's just a really fun trip for the boys. And then we finished up at Cool Cracker. Again, I wanted something late in the season. Last year, we end up with that 2-3 week break before individuals, and it's tough, man. So I was looking for something, make weight, get some tough competition. Again, fresh faces. Try to see some guys that we might only see up at Hershey, and finish up there for the year. And I think it's good balance for us where we're at right now.
For sure. I mean, that's always an interesting question to kind of see how not only newer coaches, but, historic programs, how you guys kind of morph it. In that vein, a big topic for me this year is, I've been hearing the Tri-Cautas, the MAC tournament, the Allegheny tournament, the Westmoreland County tournament, they're all going to be free points this year. Do you hear that? Is that true? Do you have official word on that, or do you know?
I don't have official word, so I know that the WPIAL approved that an I forget how they worded it, but an in-season championship would not count. And from what I understand, Tri-Cata fits that mold. So Tri-Cata was actually not on our schedule. And when this came back out, we added it. So once I get official word, I mean, we're told that it's going to be, so I have it penciled in there.
Well, if you're told it's going to be, I feel like,
we get a lot of information
here. Yeah. I feel like you're pretty close to the source over there, Canon.
Yeah.
But, I feel like that's great, man. That's, it's an extra points for these guys to get mat time, you know what I mean? And just, another way to build these guys. Like for me, like Allegheny County's Tri-Catas, I feel like that's a great tournament. I feel like anyone who can qualify for that should do those tournaments. So that's great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. In the next question on the rule changes, talk to me about the out of bounds rule, the takedown rule, the near fall rule, all the little changes that, you got to love it, right, man? I haven't talked to one person that doesn't love it.
Yeah. I think 3-point takedowns are long overdue. The style we preach and we're nonstop action. We're moving forward. We're looking to score. We're looking for takedowns. I think you should always reward the offensive wrestler. Out of bounds, I think it's going to be a little bit tough. When you think of all the tournaments you're at, especially high school tournaments, there's not a lot of buffer room outside of the mat. So I don't know how much of an impact it's going to have right away, especially tournaments. I mean,
that's what everyone seems to be talking about. Like it's all about room and distance. Now, like we want the refs to have less, room for error, I guess.
Yeah.
But they got to have. Well, I'm sure you guys will figure it out whenever you set up for Powerade this year. I'm sure.
Yeah,
and you guys will have extra room and all that. Yeah,
you're up against the boards, so it's tough to get your space. But I'm interested to see how everyone reacts. I think it makes you rethink. We're in Western PA. Mat wrestling's tougher here than it is anywhere else. Are you going down and really fighting for that one? And maybe taking 45 seconds, a minute to get your one, or hey, if you want to go on top, I'm going to force you to take it. I'm coming after my 3 points. I don't know. I think there's some gamemanship and some strategy that goes into the new rules. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be interesting for sure. Okay, on to the next one. Room games. What do you let these guys get into? Dodgeball, kickball. What do you guys play over there at Canon?
We pretty much start every day with couple games, 2 games of 2-step. So just 2-man dodgeball. We limited, the free for all or
they get a little wound up, I'm sure, huh?
Yeah, the amount of steps you can take, it turns into a wrestling match. It turns into, run up. So we found that that's a pretty mild and safe alternative to anything else. And it's our best warm-up. I get more out of them playing 2 games of 2-step than I do, running any other warm-up that's kind of get them going for the day. So we usually start with 2 games just to get going and keep it a little bit light to get in the room.
Social medias, how can we follow the squad this year?
Facebook, we are Canon McMillan Wrestling. Working on getting our Twitter, our X back up. Trying to track down who had the passwords and things, but we had a pretty good following there. I don't want to start over, but that's at Big Mac Wrestling. So hopefully before the season we get that up and you can follow along, see where we're at, what tournaments we're doing, and what's going on.
Cool, man. Okay, give me the goals and expectations you have for this team as you embark on your first year as the head coach.
Yeah, boys, I talked about us being young. I think even a down year for us is always still high expectations. I'm looking at a section title. I want to get these young guys on the mat. We didn't really back off the schedule. We're still going to the tough dual meets. We're still going to Powerade. We're not shying away from anyone. So, by the time February rolls around, late January, February rolls around, I think our guys are going to be ready to go. I think we're going to develop fast. I think we're going to scrap and, hopefully get a section title, get a couple wins in the team tournament and, surprise a couple people and then grow from there. Like it's going to be, a young team now means a tough team coming through. And then girls, I mean, we got our sights set on a state title.
Run it back, baby. Let's go.
We went out there. We bring back, you lose Val. Dynasty, they were both placers. But, you bring back Natalie Rush, ranked 6th in the nation, just signed to West Liberty. Audrey Calgaro, 3rd last year. She's back. Uni Ayala, 6th last year. She's back. Had a couple other qualifiers. We just added Marley Solomon. She moved in from Southern California.
Nice.
She was a state placer out there, Fargo runner-up. So she's kind of stepping in. That's a big gun to add into your roster. So, their schedule's a bear. They're wrestling the toughest competition every weekend. And I think come Hershey, we want to run it back.
Let's go. I love that. Yeah. All right, Coach, anything or anyone you want to shout out before I leave you go?
No, man, I appreciate it. Appreciate the coverage. It's an exciting time of year. I use your work to kind of see what's going on around the WPIAL.
I think a lot of people do that, which I'm fine with.
So I appreciate it. And then, everyone that's kind of coming out and supporting us, we get a lot of support here in this community. So appreciate everyone and excited to get after it.
Oh, man, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you out there.
All right. Thank you.
Later.